Right, well, thanks to Breckon Farms over here in New Zealand and Woodlands, actually, both selling weanlings in the upcoming weanling sale. But we're happy to be catching up with Group 1 winning Harris at Orange. Firstly, mate, congratulations on the overnight.
Nah, thank you. Yeah.
Must have been a great thrill.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty awesome and pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, I was just looking at your stats then. I think you've had 103 winners now in your first 3 seasons, so you must be one wrapped just in that stat alone. But to get your first Group 1, and you haven't even completed your 3rd season, so did it come around a little bit quicker than what you were expecting?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot of luck and support early in my career, and it's been a lot of fun so far, and to get that Group 1 was pretty awesome.
How old are you?
19.
Yeah, I was thinking you must have been a little bit older. You started a little bit later on your driving, but you've done the hard yards. I think I've seen you at about 4 different stables, if you like, over your journey. Was that right?
No, I've just
at John and Dunn's?
Oh yeah, started at Johnny's when I was in school and then got sent up here for a couple of weeks to have a look, and never left.
I never left.
No.
So that's how it worked. So once you finished school, that's why you came up here. I thought you would come up here to, I suppose, learn a different way, which you actually have done that part too.
Yeah, Dad said if I wanted to leave school that I had to come up here for a couple of weeks. So did that, and plan was to go back to Johnny's, but I loved it so much here, so stayed here. Great mentor, Barry Purdon. I've been lucky enough just to chew his ear off walking around, watching good horses work out there on the track. It must be nice to have someone like him in your corner, and Scotty as well. I mean, Scotty's achieved so much. He's a quite achiever of the industry, I think, Scotty. But a legend of the sport like Barry, it must be nice. And I'm sure he gave you some good words afterwards, I would imagine. Yeah, absolutely. To be able to come down the stables in the morning and have Barry and Scotty here, it's I'm very lucky, and obviously to be wearing Barry's colours at the races as well was a privilege, and very, very privileged to be able to drive for them and work here. And there is a great team here, and all the staff and that, they're always here when I'm not here and going away for races. So it's a team effort, and I'm just pretty lucky. You're jumping on a plane later on to go to Manawa too, and that. But do they, like, how many group? I know you'd won a group race before, I think, had you not? Yeah,
before.
Group 3 on
yeah.
Better, yeah.
So when you're leading into these sort of races, does Barry give you pointers here, or does Scotty give you pointers here, or do they sit down with you and just tell you what they're expecting of you before these group races?
No, they kind of just go into it like a normal race, really, and they'll say to me what they reckon, and there's not really straightforward instructions or anything. They're pretty good. They just leave it up to me and say what they reckon, and just try going to it as a normal race.
And that must give you great confidence. Yeah,
definitely. Definitely it is a lot easier when you don't feel a lot of pressure going into it. So it's pretty good.
They've got a great diversity of horses here. You said there before about sooner the better, and to me, he looks a cool dude of a horse to be around. I love watching him race. I think he's second in the Miracle Mile. Was still one of those races. I don't think a lot of people appreciate how good he actually went. But for you, learning the grade, he'd be good because he loves that fence, loves poking through. Probably teaches you the right and wrong things to do a little bit, and he probably helps you a bit in some of those races.
Yeah, definitely. He's my favourite, and I'm pretty excited every week that he's in to go to races and drive him. And I was lucky enough to get on when he was already kind of established. And,
yeah.
He's took me on a pretty good ride, and won a few races on him. So he's a very cool horse.
The beauty is you can see around him too. You don't have to just try and look after him in those bigger races. Was it daunting when you're first stepping into those bigger races? Because it seems a little bit different here in New Zealand to Australia. You do still drive against the same people, but when you're going up in prize money and grading of races, was it daunting those first couple of times when you're stepping into the grade races?
Yeah, definitely.
Or group races, sorry.
Well, yeah, first driving in them big races, felt a lot of pressure, and it can be quite daunting, especially with all the great drivers up here, and kind of get used to it, but it's still there's nothing like driving a nice horse in a nice race.
Well, then Friday night in that group race with higher power, everyone's up here. And the Duns are here. Johnny was here as well, so I imagine afterwards it would have been terrific. But you must have felt a fair bit of pressure in the build-up to that, and especially on the trotters, that they can be hit and miss. Luckily for you, Higher Power's a little bit better behaved than meant to be. But did you feel the pressure going into that race, or was it one of those races you thought we'll just see what happens?
Yeah, I think it was more just to see what happens. The stand's always tricky. You can't really make a plan going into it, so it was just to step away and see what happens. But luckily we stepped in, got the perfect trip, and just worked out perfect, really.
You looked like you had the race won top of the lane. Were you able to enjoy it, or were you just sort of making sure you got to the line? Can you remember your last 200 metres?
Yeah, no, I was making sure I trotted around that last bend, but he did feel pretty big, and when I ran past Bob, he started yelling, "Get up, Harry!" and then further up the lane, Dad started yelling at me too, so it was pretty enjoyable. What
was that moment like? Like I quite often ask people after a race, when you're cooling down, and I've been lucky enough to drive winners, not Group 1 winners, but you can sometimes be by yourself. Other times there's people wanting to chat with you, and that, watching the replay as you guys are easing down and you've got your dad right alongside of you, you've just beaten him in a Group 1 race, in your first Group 1 race. Can you describe that moment at all? Or is it just something that it's hard to describe? Yeah,
it is kind of hard to describe, but it was pretty cool to pull up next to him, and she said to me, "Oh, was that a Group 1?" I said, "Yeah," but to pull up next to him, and he gave me a fist pump after the line. It was a pretty cool feeling, and everyone that come and see me seemed pretty happy for me, and that also made me feel pretty good.
Yeah. There's a few similarities that a lot of people may not be aware of, but one, you and Dad's style up the straight. Now, I'd watch a replay twice, and then I did a live show last week, and when I was watching it, gee, you drive like, everyone says, who do you model yourself on? Clearly you model yourself on your dad, because I'll try and, I won't put it over the top because I won't have time today, but people need to go back and watch it. The way you drove that last 100 metres, a pair of yous, exactly the same action, same movement and everything. You clearly, that is your role model, and that's who you want to drive like.
Yeah, no, he's definitely taught me a lot of things, and I think I just kind of, as you drive more, you kind of build your own kind of style and how you do it, but I guess when you look at it, it's a bit similar, but as Dad always says, that I've probably got my good genes from my mother anyway. She drove a few winners, so maybe I drive like her.
No, I think you drive like your dad. But you definitely can't forget mums. But yeah, I think if you go back and watch it. So I was talking to Ken Breckon yesterday. So your first Group 1 winner on a Breckon bred horse is pretty cool. Do you know your dad's first Group 1 winner was on?
Yeah, Karen actually said to me after the race in the bar, she said, you wouldn't believe it, but Dad drove his first one on one of their trotters too, I reckon. And
yeah, I'm not sure if it was a trotter. No, it could be a trotter. No, definitely could be a trotter. Don't worry about that. But I can't remember what gate it is, but he did say, and it was at Alexandra Park, as well. And then that also had a few other firsts. I think he said it was the first Northern Hemisphere bred horse, time-bred horse, and race that won in New Zealand, and then it was also the first embryo transfer your dad did, so he had to go one more on a few other things. But I just think that's really cool, like that both of you have been able to get that Group 1 winner from Breckons, and I know some people might not think much of it, but it's a bit scary, those sorts of things, when they come about, aren't they? Yeah, no, definitely. They've been a great support of mine too, and I've driven a few winners for them as well, so to get it for them, and they're such great people, and they're always so happy to see you, and happy to be at the races, so to make all that owners crew see them cheering and smiling, it makes you feel really good. What do you do, what are your goals? What do you aim to do? At the moment, just chipping away really, just trying to drive as much as I can every week, and obviously learn as much as I can, and keep improving, don't want to not going to get too comfortable and think, oh, this is good. Got to keep going and learning and thinking out there, and just keep going forward, hopefully. I think you're probably in a pretty lucky position, because if you try to get ahead of yourself, you don't have to worry about Dad. I think your two bosses here will chip you back into line pretty quickly, but then you've got so many other support around you. Is travel something, like you look at Dexter Dunn in America, even across Australia, is that something you'd like to do, even watching Dad drive in the Drivers Invitational? Not so much this year, although that would have been cool, but going to Europe as well. Like, is that the sorts of things you'd like to do, or you just at the minute no real plans and see where it all heads?
Yeah, no real plans at the moment, but I wouldn't mind doing a bit of travel at some point, and seeing a bit of the world, and seeing how they do things differently everywhere. But at the moment, no real plans, but travel would be pretty cool, I think.
And just quickly, the other quick one, the industry up here, unfortunately, in North Island, where the weather is sensational and so much better, don't get a lot of opportunities. Does that frustrate you a little bit when you look down at the South Island and you could be driving like Dad drives at sort of 4 meetings a week, where you're lucky to get 2 meetings a week up here? You'd like to stay up here, I'd imagine, but does it get a little bit frustrating trying to make your mark?
Yeah, not really, I don't think. I still get a very good go up here, and I go down the occasional Sundays down there, but it's also not bad having a weekend off.
Yep.
Every week you can go out on the Saturday and don't have to go to the races every Sunday, which is good. It's quite a good lifestyle up here, but I don't know if I'll go down or just no plans.
As an older person, mate, I can tell you a lifestyle and having a happy life is probably the best thing you can do in life. So if you're enjoying it, definitely say that. Mate, I'll let you go. That last trip's come in. I think you're going to do another trip in a minute. I appreciate Scotty and Barry giving me the time to catch up with you. Glad you got rid of that rat tail. I must say that was one of the first times you were a bit cheeky. You're a little bit smaller and a lot cheekier back then. And do you look back on that rat tail and think where it went?
Yeah, I was made to cut that off before I come up here. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Dad recommended?
Yeah, they did. Barry wouldn't like it at all, so got a haircut and I'm off.
Well done, Harrison. Well done. Congratulations. You got a good book of drives tomorrow night, so hopefully I might be able to interview you at the end of the night after another Group 1 win. But congratulations on your first one, mate. Great achievement. A lot of people don't get to drive in Group 1s, let alone win them. So I think well done to you, mate, and all the best for the future. And thank you very much for joining me.
No, thank you very much for having me. Cheers.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, buddy.